Hello friends, today I will be talking about what is budget, because you know that on 1st February this year, the Honorable Finance Minister presented the budget for the year 2025-26. But most of the people are unaware of what is budget, why budget is necessary for the governance of the country. So today I will stick to the point as to what constitutes budget, what are its components, how budget is prepared, what are the implications of the budget on the economy of a country, and finally what are the special features of this year's budget, I mean the financial year of 2025-26. Budget is an estimated receipt and expenditure of a government in one financial year. Under Article 112 of our Constitution, the government is mandated to present annual budget in Parliament. Friends, as you know that no money can be spent out of the Consolidated Fund of India without the approval of the Parliament, and particularly Lok Sabha, I mean the lower house. The budget involves analyzing, processing and figuring data, and thereafter it is the pooling of all the resources of the government, allocation of resources to different departments according to their needs. In short, budget is a blueprint of the economic policy of the government of the day. Budget has three components. These are receipts, I mean income, expenditures and deficit indicators. Again, receipts have three components. These are revenue receipts, non-debt receipts and debt creating receipts. Revenue receipts are divided into two parts. These are tax revenues and non-tax revenues. Tax revenues consist of direct taxes like income tax, corporate tax, capital gain tax, etc. While non-direct taxes include GST, custom duties, sale tax, etc. Non-tax revenues consist of dividends and profits earned by public sector enterprises, interest payment on the loans given by central government to state governments, foreign governments, banks and other financial institutions, funds received from foreign governments or financial institutions. Non-debt capital receipts are those receipts which are received by the central government from the disinvestment of public sector enterprises, recovery of loans from state government or banks or financial institutions. Debt creating receipts are those receipts which government receives from both domestic and external borrowings. Government get domestic borrowings by way of issuance of bonds, treasury bills, loans from financial institutions, and external borrowings from financial institutions like World Bank, IMF and different countries of the world. These debt creating funds are utilized by the government for capital expenditure in order to create assets in the economy and to reduce fiscal deficit. Expenditures can be divided into two parts. These are revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Revenue expenditures consist of salaries, pensions of government employees, subsidies given by government to farmers or weaker sections of the society, interest payments on domestic and external borrowing also form part of revenue expenditure. Capital expenditures include investment on infrastructure, procurement of defense machinery, investment in public sector enterprises, loans to states and union territories. Friends, capital expenditure is meant to create assets in the economy, to boost infrastructure, which will be able to self-generate the economy. Friends, the third component of budget is deficit indicator. This means that how the budget will mop up resources and how it will try to meet the needs of different departments and ministries. It also involves reduction of fiscal deficit so that inflation is kept under control. Budget is also a ways and means to resource mobilization. Friends, now I switch over to another point, and that is how the budget is prepared. The preparation of budget starts every year in the month of September, October. Every department and ministry prepares its needs, allocation, and accordingly it formulates its revenues and expenditures in the next year. And thereafter, all these departments and ministries present their estimates to the finance ministry. The finance ministry discusses with different stakeholders of the economy like business tycoons, prominent economists, Niti Aayog in India, and prominent personalities of the society. After receiving inputs, the finance ministry prepares the draft of the budget, and thereafter this draft is presented before the Council of Ministers, indicating allocation of resources to different departments and ministries. It also includes tax proposals, ways and means to mobilize resources to meet the expenditure in the budget of the next year. Thereafter, the budget is presented before the cabinet. Once it is approved, it is sent to the president for his approval. Since budget is a money bill, so no money bill can be presented before the parliament without the approval of the President of India. But before presenting the budget, finance minister is obliged to present the economic survey of previous year, in which it is indicated as to how economy has performed. The budget is discussed and debated in parliament by the MPs of ruling as well as opposition parties. If government fails to pass the budget, it will have to resign forthwith. Friends, now I switch over to another point. What are the implications of budget on the economy? Number one point, budget creates aggregate demands in the economy. Secondly, it provides a mechanism for the distribution of resources among different sections of the society. It leads to economic growth. It gives a true picture about the fiscal health of the economy. It promotes direct investment in the economy. It controls inflation by rationalizing demands and supply. It promotes exports by giving subsidies to exporters so that they may compete with foreign companies. It establishes an amicable relationship between the center and state governments by allocating sufficient resources to state governments. It addresses the problem of unemployment, inequality, and regional disparity. It is a true reflection of the fiscal management of the government and its economic reforms. Now I switch over to the special features of budget 2025-26. As the Prime Minister commented on the budget, that budget addresses Gyan. Gyan means, G means Garib, Y means youth, A means Annadata, and N means Nari, I mean women. So the budget raises the income tax exemption to the tune of 12,75,000 rupees annual income. That means that those who are earning 12 lakh rupees annually, they have been exempted from giving income tax. This is meant to create aggregate demand in the economy. The budget proposes 11.21 lakh crore investment as capital expenditure, which represents 3.1% of the GDP of India. The enhanced capital expenditure from the previous year of 10.18 lakh crore indicates that government is committed to develop infrastructure and for creation of assets in the economy. The budget proposes to start Dhan Dhanya Yojana in order to boost the production and productivity of 100 low productivity district of India. The short term loan was increased from 3 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees to benefit farmers. The government is set to launch 6-year mission plan for raising the production and productivity of oil seeds so that its dependence on imports can be reduced. Exemptions were granted on open cells used in LCD, LED, TVs, capital goods for lithium ion batteries used in mobile phones and electric vehicles. A 10-year exemption was given to the goods used for manufacturing ships. But budget failed to give concrete shape to promote agricultural exports in coming years. The budget states that fiscal deficit would be reduced to 4.4%. But this cannot be possible without the mobilization of additional resources, additional taxation. Friends, as you might be knowing that by raising the tax exemption to 12 lakh rupees, the government has lost 1 lakh crore rupees, and so it can be only possible through the asset monetization and disinvestment of public sector enterprises, because there is a less demand in the economy and weakening external demands on account of protectionist policy adopted by the US and the developed countries of the world. The budget wants to make India a manufacturing hub of the world. Last year, the manufacturing sector underperformed. Its share in the economy was only 17%. Government wants to increase the share of manufacturing sector to the tune of 25%. But this cannot be possible without adequate fund for industrial research and innovation. Only by the technological upgradation and innovation, India can compete with countries like China and Germany. The budget aims at improving MSME sectors, because friends, you know that MSME sectors are the biggest employer apart from agriculture in our economy. In addition, MSME sector also constitute more than 36% of our exports. And so government increased the investment limit by 2.5 times and doubled the turnover of micro, small and medium enterprises. Thus, micro enterprises was increased from 1 crore to 2.5 crore. Small enterprises increased to 10 crore to 25 crore. Medium enterprises increased from 50 crore to 125 crore. Similarly, turnover limits was also increased by 2 times. For example, micro enterprises increased from 5 crore to 10 crore. Small enterprises from 50 crore to 100 crore. Medium enterprises from 250 crore to 500 crore. The revised investment and turnover of MSME sector was aimed at increasing the economy of scale, upgradation of technology and access to capital. Similarly, government increased the foreign direct investment from 74% to 100% in insurance sector. In order to attract foreign direct investment in India, 1 crore gig workers have been given benefit by way of Jan Arogya and social security benefits. They will receive identity cards. PM Swanidhi scheme was revamped to give loans to more people. 30,000 credit cards were linked with UPI, and it aims at capacity building initiatives for street vendors. An additional 10,000 medical seats will be increased in this financial year, and within 5 years the medical seats will go to 75,000. Similarly, the budget also plans to establish 200 cancer hospitals by the end of the fiscal year 2026 in the country. To sum up, the budget focuses upon economic growth, infrastructure development, social welfare, tax reforms, and MSME support. So friends, this is the end of my lecture. If you have any suggestion, please share and subscribe my channel AJIS Academy Indore for more details. Thank you.